Hello everybody and welcome to the first Flashing Lights QA stream with myself Tim, and we have the developer of Flashing Lights here, Niels.
Hey.
And how are you doing today, Niels?
Well, thank you.
Good.
All good. Excited for the video.
Yes, definitely very excited, very excited. So what we'll be doing today is running through many of the questions as possible from the Discord Q&A channel. And then if we have the time, we will jump over onto the chat and then see if we can answer some of the questions from the chat as well. Obviously, we are restricted to only about an hour, but we'll try and get through as much as possible. But we do have some little teasers as well, some screenshots to share of upcoming content, and just a little bit to talk about that as well. So yeah, and we have James in chat as well. He's just popped up. He's going to be our moderator for the day. So yeah, just make sure to keep civil, otherwise James will be booting you from the chat. So yeah, let's jump straight into the questions. So our first question of the day, which comes from Captain C. Knight. Will PD fire and EMS calls show up on the CAD so a person playing as a dispatcher can see all the calls for all departments? And will it allow a PD player to respond to a vehicle accident or for fire or EMS?
Well, the incoming calls are only designed to show up for specific role. For instance, the joint call, the new call, which is in unstable branch for vehicle collision, is showing up for EMS and fire because of the rescue aspect. But regardless, police will see them on the CAD as action cards, and they can assign themselves for the call to assist.
Brilliant. Okay. And our next question from Sergeant Top Gun 13. With this new update on the new rural towns and such in the plan, now are you planning on adding sheriff skin on the cars too under appearance for those who like more country settings? Also, with the interior stuff you're working on, will you be adding in domestic calls to help keep the variety of calls and keep everything fun instead of the same old calls?
Definitely more calls coming, especially for new locations that we will be adding, including industrial areas, suburbs, and so on. About deliveries, likely yes, because we have some work in progress delivery uniform for the police as well. But we'll see. It's a matter of time to actually add them, like we added now more liveries for ambulances, and more will come for fire department as well.
Brilliant. Next question from Police Video Gamer Gaming. Is there plans for uniform customization?
Customization, like a character customization, is planned, but it is not set yet what kind of system we will use. So whether it will be like changing more body types with uniforms, or actually changing uniform colors or more details, time will see, but we want the character customization indeed.
Okay, brilliant. So now we have a question from Reddington. With jobs and such coming for civilian, obviously the rumoured civilian role, are there plans for any in-game salary that we get from working and can use to buy other stuff like food, cars and upgrades?
Salary for police and all the departments, no. For civilian role, some kind of money reward, because they will be able to purchase weapons and upgrade their status to do crimes or whatever they are doing. But I wouldn't say like Sims and salary, likely not. So it will be like limited in the civilian role ecosystem, some kind of value, so they can actually upgrade or buy things for better experience.
Brilliant. Next question from Garrett Plays. If there were no time or complexity limitations when developing flashing lights, what would your dream addition to the game be?
Really, that could be a mission editor to make some like player-made missions, and making this new CAD system for new map. Actually, I thought about it, and there are some base things to support it, but of course that's super long way if actually we will do it or not. I don't want to confirm it, but that's one thing I would love to see.
Yeah, brilliant. So next question from the Ginger EMT. Is it possible with this new update that new equipment or actions could be added for EMS to reflect a more realistic EMS experience?
Unfortunately, not this update, because currently we are focusing to bring things and features from old map to new map with adjustments to support the new CAD system and map loading and randomization for mission spawn. But definitely later, of course, new tools will come, and new tools will complement new functionality.
Brilliant. EMS 2025 asks, when can we expect to see a full interior for the hospital?
I wouldn't confirm any dates, but full interior, that's a stretch, I believe. I don't think we will have like 100 rooms for every patient in town, but some hallways and reception, if I may call it, yeah, the register for incoming patients and waiting rooms, that's something we could work on.
Brilliant. The Ginger EMT also asks, for EMS, can we happen to get some basic EMS stuff like oxygen, IVs, a basic command to give medications, and some kind of way to place an airway?
Yes, there are plans for medication that will be likely in the med bag, and depending on what the patient is asking, or if they are unconscious and unable to tell them, then the system will assist, like we have now, what to do next as a step, and possibly for the shots. Oxygen is something as well really requested, and I'm looking forward to add that eventually.
Okay, brilliant. M177 Pearl asks, will EMS ever get updated?
Yeah, well, that basically goes under that same questions. Yeah, they will get updated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand. Yeah, there are like police updates, fire updates, and medics had a long wait for the new map to come in, and finally this update will bring gameplay for EMS as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in the future, obviously, we want to include all of the services, fire, police, and EMS, and we'll be regularly updating each and every one of those. We don't want to leave a single service behind, because obviously they are important to people, and there are people who only play EMS, for example. So yeah, we will definitely be updating others in the future.
Indeed, because police, fire, and EMS are in the game's core, and we'll be focusing on that as well.
Absolutely. Photon Dude asks, will there be gas and water leak calls for the fire department?
There are ideas about gas leaks, water leak, that's a nice idea, thank you. But about the gas, yeah, those I have on my notes. When and how it will work, currently I cannot go into details.
Okay, next question again from Photon Dude. In what way are you going to rework the fire hose system for the update later on?
So first thing I would like to see is a limited hose, so you cannot run around the map. Actually, some players did on the old map. They ran around few times on the highway, the whole map. That was crazy awesome. But yeah, the limits, connection types, and the physics, how it will work, and basically current physics also prevents to climb up the ladder truck with the hose in the hand. I know some players do the cheat by walking on the handheld ladders and then running up the ladder truck. But yeah, we'll see if that can be adjusted.
Yeah. In relation to that, Jolly Moo asks, is there plans to make the fire hoses with limited lengths? Obviously, you just answered that. So you may need to get multiple lengths and connect them to each other. So obviously, will you be able to connect multiple hoses to get a longer length hose?
Yeah, indeed, definitely.
Yeah. Redditon also asked, with fire spread coming and eventually interior fires, what is the level of destruction or damage that would be caused by the fire itself?
Buildings likely will not collapse. The damage from fire will be cosmetic, and player will be able to hit windows and doors. But that's not from fire aspect. So basically, the fire mostly will be spreading as giving injuries to NPCs and players, but not the building collapsing. Like dynamic collapsings. Maybe we will introduce some specific locations that are pre-coded, hard-coded, that exchange the building to a collapsing one. For instance, for K9 you need to search victims, but not dynamic structures.
Yeah. Okay. And with it confirmed that more fire departments are coming, will certain fire stations only have certain vehicles?
Currently, no. The idea is to be able to play freely, and even if you want to spawn in a smaller town but use the same vehicles, players should be able to do that. Whether it's roleplay aspect and realistic, I will leave that to the players, to the server owners, who decides if it's okay to do that or not.
Yeah. Next question from Dangerous Robot. Will the fire engine have a water cannon or will it just be a pumper?
Currently it's planned to be just a pumper, like an engine. Water cannon, it's something we could consider, of course, but not likely planned as the initial engine like feature.
Okay. Princess Troublemaker asks a very important question. Coke or Pepsi?
Hello, Princess. Coke.
For me, it is definitely Pepsi. Pepsi is definitely a favourite for mine. On another note, what is your favourite type of pizza?
Pepperoni.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a classic. For me, it would be probably something like a spicy or barbecue chicken-based pizza.
Nice.
I like the different flavours.
Yeah. I like simple pizza.
Yes. Okay, let's move on from the fun questions for a little bit. We might go back to more of the fun questions later on. So Evil Wheat asks, will there be backup for police, fire and EMS at all?
Yes, backup is planned for all agencies. For the EMS, it will be likely something we have now in the old map as a transportation. Possibly in terms of if you player using the first responder car, the EMS AI could bring specific tools that are not in the first responder car. That could be a limitation, I guess. For police and fire, any agency, like if you are a firefighter and need police assistance, will be able to call AI police, and they will detain any AI who is attacking, for instance.
Brilliant. Okay, next question. So Frosty asks, is 600 going to reach out to move I guess, for more developers soon rather than new developers. So, are you going to be hiring more developers, basically?
Yes, that's actually happening in various like phases, like testing phases. I have now an amazing artist working with me, making things for September update. He also worked on with another artist on the upcoming car and Tahoe SUV.
Yep.
And for developers, there is also one who is helping me with automating Unity things, so we don't have to manually place like hundreds of specific objects in specific scenes, for example. And also, I just had for 5 months 3 interns who was also making some things for September update that I will use, and they actually sorted the sound things for vehicles, for the new SUV and old SUV and Charger car, I think.
Yeah.
So it is going on. Now I'm actually moved out from home and working in office. So it is not my mission to work alone, and as I have to develop the game and manage these things and find people and find the cooperation between the languages and what we want to achieve and technical things. So it takes time, but we are moving forward with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have some screenshots which we can show you, or some of the new assets these artists have been working on. So on screen at the moment we have a rail bridge which will be obviously going around the city, so we can show off that and what they've been working on there. So nice screenshot.
The rail will be going around the whole map. In the city it will be like elevated above the streets.
Yeah.
So these are work in progress. We have some internal builds where we are placing these and checking out how it all works with surrounding areas.
Yeah, and should we also show off maybe the tunnel as well they've been working on?
Yeah.
So
there are also props for highway reworking, and tunnel is being polished because now it's just empty hole.
Yeah, it's pretty blank at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have images of the tunnel here. As we can see, it's been entirely reworked and obviously has all the lighting and the signs and various bits and bobs there.
The orange barrels are placeholders in runtime. While you're playing in those barrel places, they spawn in the correct models.
Yeah, and then we also have the highway signs, which Nils also previously spoke about. So here we have some examples of those as well. So obviously there you can see that we're hopefully improving a lot of the aspects of the environment and just making it more alive, essentially, so people can see where they want to go and with the signs, and making it just look a bit better.
Exactly, because in old map we didn't have those signs, and actually no direction which part you have to turn for city or road around or anything.
So back to the questions. Evil Wheat asks, will there be more vehicles for pedestrians and AI?
Yes, vehicles are planned. Currently, why we are keeping it low is because there are still work in progress that we want to add, like a traffic stop update we plan later. If we do all these massive amounts of cars, we don't want to refactor them. That's why we are keeping this low until we are happy that vehicle searches are implemented and we know which parts are opening and closing and which needs more details and so on. That's why currently the same is for pedestrians. We could use more clothing variations, of course, but as any pedestrian can be shot, the EMS can come in and work on them with a defibrillator, taking off their clothes. So we have to figure out best system not to refactor them later.
Yeah, of course. Another question. So another one from Frosty, in fact. Why are some things getting priority over others which should have been done a while ago? Obviously, this is mainly talking about, for example, like a lot of questions over the new map, why we are working on the new map, and why are we prioritizing something like this?
Because well, one main aspect, of course, I'm not gonna hide it. This is my first game, and I changed maps before as well, and I thought this, currently old map, will be the map we will be using, but realizing that how memory is managed and how many details we want to add and locations, the map should be like cut open and changed drastically, and so decided to actually make a new one and not make a Frankenstein out of the old map.
Yeah.
So that prioritizes, and then there are things that get affected, like a CAD system, because in old map everything was loaded in memory and you can just spawn any mission and hardcode it anywhere. And now this map is dynamically loaded, and so the CAD system needed to much more attention to adjust for the dynamic spawning system. And same for AI. All the waypoints was loaded in as on the start of the game for the old map, but in the new map it's completely changed how it happens. So all these things have to be worked again, and so it feels like we are like sitting on one place, but actually so much things in the background is being changed and being prepared for the September update, so we can actually finally focus on one map and go forward from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thunder asks, will there be a possibility for larger amounts of traffics and pedestrians? So just more cars and people walking around?
Yeah, indeed. I want, of course, traffic jams as well, but we rely on optimization. Like I know some players adjusted some things and spawned 100 cars in, and they had absolutely okay performance, but this really depends on PC, of course, and we are aiming for we set the minimum requirements and recommended requirements for the game, so we have to find the balance, how much we can put and how much we can sacrifice the performance or so. So we'll be adjusting that and see that the current one is not the limit, but officially we will release more in time.
Yeah, of course. Another question here. What drives you to complete or keep working on the game till this day? And where do you get this motivation from?
Well, I just love emergency services, and my path of life went around actually going to work on those. And so learning art and many softwares, and one day I just realized I want to like put these agencies out there to popularize and be involved that way, and I love doing it, and I think doing it actually motivates me more. So it's just going forward and keep working on it. No specific music or anything. It's just I enjoy doing it and I enjoy playing it and all this team around.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Next question. So Tank Destroyer 2134 asks, will we see a proper local location system implemented, as in streets and named buildings and addresses, ideally with street signs and numbers?
Yes, currently, actually, the base is there. You can see next to the minimap, there is this green number. And by this green number, it will be actually the street names. And from this, then the building numbers will be attached. So yeah, that's planned.
Brilliant. Jakoko, yeah, I think that's how you say that. Are you going to improve the animations, getting in and out of cars, arresting someone, example?
Well, yeah, some getting in out could get some work, and arresting and much more interaction animations are missing, and we think that we could add those as a bulk, like all together, like an animation update, and not to work for a specific animation, add one and then another one, but actually work to polish in general the experience and all those.
Yeah, exactly. Police Video Gaming also asks, hey, is there going to be customization of being able to put your own department name on vehicles and uniforms?
Actually, I initially, when the game was also in Steam Greenlight, I was thinking about adding the unit numbers on vehicles. Currently, I see it way like in future as a possibility, because we want to focus more on the actually like missions and content.
Yeah.
But these things, yeah, that would be a nice touch, definitely.
Yeah. Your local Polish expert, will we be able to break down doors with an axe in the suburbs?
Yes, that is planned. We'll see how it goes with the initial suburbs update. And of course, it's coming after September, so with how the map has turned out and how you like and feedback everybody playing, so it is planned. If it goes in initial update, it is unknown, but highly would want that. But we'll see if we need to fix other things prior to that or not. Axe is there. The chainsaw is there as well.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for more use.
Definitely. Okay, so MMG Gaming asks, my question is, can we use the K9 with the tow truck? Because that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. Currently, I cannot confirm that because for K9 we plan to actually adjust current models few, like SUVs, maybe one of the cars, to have those dog cages in the back with lowered window so the dog can get some air. So yeah, I don't know about tow truck, but in a tow truck I guess the dog would sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that works, because yeah, we'll see.
Definitely.
I don't want to spoil.
No, definitely not. So Captain Irish, I believe that's how you say that, is the K9 unit only going to be for the Explorer, or are we going to get K9 set up for each vehicle? You sort of answered this already. But...
Yeah, not only Explorer, but not every car.
Yeah. Few people ask similar questions in regards to vehicles, so let me just skip that. Will K9s be only for the police, or will we also see them for the fire department and maybe EMS as well?
Fire department, yes. For EMS, currently no. We was with Tim. We was just talking about EMS dogs, but currently we will leave EMS sadly out until we have a like solid feature we can do and just make it interesting even in single player, not just for role play.
So next question. Do you plan on adding more light bars and more sirens?
Yes, actually, almost every suggestion that is posted on Steam forums or Discord channel about light bars, especially if you post exact model you want, I am having a list of those, and eventually we will just go to the 3D studio we did last time, and we'll make a bunch of light bars to play with.
Brilliant.
And for Sirens as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
the sound engineer did a good job on those.
yeah, exactly. So we are actually now working with a sound engineer who has worked with us in the past on a few other games, and he has taken sirens from real life siren machines and just made them for a video game, basically. It can be quite difficult to record directly from the siren making machines, and often can sound quite digital. I believe this is how it was done previously. So what we've done is we've brought in an audio engineer just to up the quality of those and try and make them sound as realistic as possible, while obviously being still constrained in a video game. And we will obviously be looking at maybe adding more versions, or versions based on a variety of different siren sounds. Okay, next question. I cannot pronounce that for the life of me, so I won't even try. Yeah, Yindix.
Windings will.
There you go. Will there be lighting stages like just the front, just back, takedowns, and cruise lights?
There will be lighting stages, and each stage will be customizable. So if you want them to be takedowns or cruise lights, you will be able to actually customize in, do they flash or not, which part, like we do now with current light bars. So basically, if you have 3 slots of lighting stages, feel free to make cruise lights or takedowns. One thing that could cause a bit confusion for AI, if you turn the lights on, of course they will slower their speed and do the offset on the road. So we'll see if I can add any toggleable button that for the lights to AI to ignore that or not. Yeah. So basically, if you want them to be a cruise lights or any other like noticeable lightning package without interfering the traffic, should be able to do that.
Niral asks, are there any plans on adding a report button for multiplayer or a mute button? So multiplayer moderation, basically.
We are thinking, actually, for voice, you can already mute players, but for text chat, we're looking for filter to exclude any swearing and inappropriate phrases. We'll see how that goes. Regards moderation like that to report, we cannot currently do that on this system because the servers are run by players, and we don't have like a server database with every user, and we cannot kick them or ban them. That can be done only by the hosting player. Later, if we manage to add Steam API, then we could link the exact user nickname to in-game nickname, but we'll see how that goes. Firstly, we would like to add filtering, and possibly a text chat mute as well is a good idea, actually.
Wing-Ridden Angel asks, will player spots on servers be up to at least 20 or 26 in the near future? That's a very specific number.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, near future, actually 20 is available now if you set a password on your server. Uh, we will adding possibly more depending how the full map performs in multiplayer with all the new systems that we are working on, and we'll see how that goes because yeah, this is not our like limit we want to reach, but we will see not to, of course, make more lag for players.
Yeah, absolutely. So, next question. Photon Dude asks, will there be a forest on the new map?
Yes, there will be forest.
Yes, of course. We do like trees. As you can see, we have a screenshot at the moment of the suburban area, just so you have something to look at besides our faces. There will be forested areas, and the map will be slightly bigger than the current one, but it will have much more features and much more life to it. So yeah, we will have forests and a little bit of desert and waterways and stuff like that. So plenty to look forward to.
And we have a chainsaw as well, so some like to cut down those trees.
I'm Ankle 3 asks, will there be districts visualized on the map?
So we'll work on a mini-map. We'll thinking about the zoom in and zoom out and visualizing them maybe in like we had in the grid manner in an old map. For districts, that's a good idea. We'll see. That could be actually help for could help to organize our role play or just cruise around.
Pink Panda Viking asks, will traffic be present in the new areas?
Yes, traffic is planned to be expanded.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the new area.
And you can see the suburban area has parked cars all over the place. That's the K9 livery. So yeah, lots of parked cars and traffic.
Yeah, the same parking system is put there as well. So if you set parking to none, of course there will be no cars. Every of those cars will be towable, ticketable, and any other like interaction that is planned for the whole system, even if it's in city, suburbs, or any other location.
Yeah. And another question from Pink Panda Viking: what will be the size of the new part of the map?
So the old map is about 3,500 square kilometers. Meters and 3.5 kilometers in square. Yeah. And this one will be like a 3.8 to 3.9, almost 4. But the 4 is the edge of the map where the ocean starts. So we will try to push it maximum as we can to the border, but not making, of course, solid square out of it.
Yeah, and the suburban area itself, roughly how big do you think that would be, maybe compared to what's currently available?
It's the testing area is about 1/3 size of city, but actually in the new map there will be 2 suburb-like areas. We'll see how they are split in the roads, but yeah, so in general they will be larger than this work in progress area.
Yeah, of course. Buggy 347, sorry?
Maybe we can share some more as we talk about the new map.
If I can
share the upcoming new gas station.
Yes.
So maybe some are noticed that in the city we have bus stops, and in bus stops we have a coffee commercials like advertising, and on the LED screens we have advertisings. So those are specially made for flashing lights, like fake brands that will go through the game, like soft drinks, cereals, food. We have a red Panda Viking whiskey as well. So the chips are also advertised on the LED screens now on the city. So those was the teasers.
Yep.
And yeah, this is I think very nice work from artists to make it look fresh and more appealing, because here will of course be armed robberies and other calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, rush.
Let's have a look. So yeah, the question from Buggy347 was, when are speed limits going to be implemented again?
I would hope so for the September, but we'll see how it goes, because before we implemented the ticket system back, basically it's almost there. We want to spread out the speed signs, and there are no speed signs yet. So we'll see about how the September is coming, and if you get time to actually place speed signs instead of fixing something or adding something else, we will see how that goes. Maybe that can go in together with the traffic stop update. So should be this year, but we'll see.
Yeah. So we have some questions about the police department next. Big Chungus asks, will there be more callouts for the police department?
Yes.
Pretty simple, but yes, absolutely. GL asks, will there be house breaching?
Yes.
Yes. Longman0708, will there be AI cops and more stations you can spawn at?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
More stations around the map, so we are looking at least 3 stations.
Yeah, absolutely. GM Police 999 asks, will there be an option for riot gear?
I am thinking about the riot shield. I loved in any game I played, and they had a riot shield, and maybe more for role-play purposes, or they actually want to use them in single player even. But as a riot police division or missions, likely not. Currently not planned.
Yeah. And related to that, of course, I've seen a lot of people ask this in the chat, and a few people I think asked on the Discord as well, is SWAT police. Are there any plans for SWAT police or SWAT related missions?
I know it's a really popular request, and I would love to actually add that, but we don't have it set in roadmap yet, because we don't want to just make it cosmetic. We want to make it count with our missions and why we do it. And if it's a separate division, then what about fire and EMS divisions? So it has to go so it's equal for all agencies, and that's why it's holding us a little bit back. But we'll see how that goes, of course.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome with ideas, and we are just putting all these together and squeezing what we can.
Absolutely. So a Lollipop Boy asked, will sheriff skins ever come? I believe we've already answered that in the past.
Sheriff's popular.
Yes, sheriff is definitely a popular thing. Buggy347 also asks, are more illegal driving actions such as red lights, stop signs, cutting people off, etc. Planned in the future for tickets?
Yeah, stop signs, failing to indicate, red lights, aggressive driving. Those are things that I got top of my mind. But yeah, we will add more, of course, to add.
Brilliant. Photon Dude asks, will there be hostage type calls?
Currently not planned, because it would require some division to actually negotiator and tools where we want to go with that. maybe we could add like type of call if you are a regular police member, if I may say so, yeah, that assists such type of call, but not being like a negotiator and doing all these days or weeks long like process how to solve the mission. So it's something interesting, but really tricky to add in our concept currently.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fall of Prey asks, any plans for more tactical police gear, i.e. SWAT vests, more advanced guns, Bearcat, etc.? I don't know what Bearcat is, but that sounds interesting.
So yeah, that's the cube on wheels. You can smash through everything.
Ah, of course, yes, okay.
Yeah. Well, vests are planned, and more guns and semi-automatics are planned. Whether you use it on regular patrol or specific missions, that will be up to the players and roleplay, of course, servers.
Yeah.
Bearcat, yeah, that's nice vehicle, but we'll see. We want to add, of course, more medic things, more fire things before we add SWAT or such related things.
Yeah.
Always.
For the traffic stop, are you going to change the 3D model of the AI vehicle so you can open the trunk and doors and such, and then obviously search the vehicle?
Yeah, eventually we will work that. That was in combination with the previous question about why we are not, or when we will add more AI cars models. So on traffic stop update and K9 update, we will see how it goes with those functions and what is needed, and then we will update 3D models for AI.
Yeah. Police Video Gamer Gaming asks, is crime scene tape going to be added?
Yes, it stays on my notes for so long. I really would love to add that. It's being just pushed forward and forward because of other things, but yeah, I think that's something we could work on.
Yeah, definitely. Tank Destroyer 2134 asks, will any new interactions be added for Suburban callouts?
So Suburban callouts actually will be the first testing ground for interior calls for police, EMS, and fire. So these buildings will be also in prime line to getting doors knocked down and windows smashed. So yeah, will there be in national suburbs, as I mentioned? Not sure yet, but that area will be in a heavy testing for these new features that will be actually expanded later for city and other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Bluey Blue Blue asks, is there going to be interiors inside the city as well, or will it just be the suburbs?
Yeah, in city as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Photon Dude asks, will there be visor lighting?
Yes, looking to add those back, just like collecting more and more stuff for lights and siren things, so we can do like a dedicated, like massive update for that. But I wouldn't say so soon because we really need to push the new map out and do new things than adding like lights for existing system.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question here from Police Video Gamer Gaming. Are there plans for more tools like pepper spray?
Yep, pepper spray is planned, baton as well. Different types of tasers and guns and secondary weapons, of course. So basically with reputation points later you will unlock, like this taser is like 7-meter wide, and you will get reputation points and unlock one that is going like 15 meters and so on.
Yeah.
Same for pepper spray and baton types, like a stick or the regular classic one or so on.
Yeah. Okay, so we have probably some time for a few more questions from Discord, and then probably 5 minutes at the end just to answer some from the chat. So let's do a few quick ones. Will the old lights be back?
Old lights, how it's meant?
I'm guessing the old style lights on the top of the car, flashing lights.
Well, I think I remember when we added the light bars, I removed the old light bar we used to have, but now it's back in there in the customization menu, so you can pick it up and then customize it.
Justified asks, can you guys add a police motorcycle?
We'll see. We cannot confirm that yet.
Absolutely.
But it's really, really nice vehicle to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things which could be more difficult to put in the game because obviously motorcycles have a whole new physics around them, and you can see the character riding on them.
That reminds me, that old truck update where we had this bugs about flying around because of physics. I think motorcycles will be another challenge for physics engine.
Absolutely.
How it's set up. Yeah.
Will there be police, fire, and EMS boats?
Boats. Well, we will have marina. We will have fishing like spots for new map for AI, but for players we are not sure because that could be again another division.
Yeah.
It sounds really exciting. I want that too, but before that we want to improve ground units and missions and content before we move to water or air even. Yeah. So I would say let's see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I say.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that we would like to add, but it's obviously just time and constraints and everything like that. So yeah, totally understandable. So yeah, let's switch over to some questions in the chat. I'm just scrolling through. Of course, we won't be able to go through every one, but I'll just pick out a few. Richard Hunt asks, are we getting a spare tyre?
Yep, spare tyre is a placeholder already in trunk for a long time since release. The idea was when gun interaction with the vehicle will be added, so you can shoot the tires or hit spike strips, because now player can go over them without any damage. So you will be able to just jump out the car, quickly exchange tire, and move forward.
Will there ever be station uniforms for the fire department? Asks Firefighter 1221.
That depends actually on the character customization system, how we will go with that, because I know also popular request is ability to wear gloves to put them off and put them on. So whether it will be changeable clothes or not, it will depend on the system, how we decide to use.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the questions at the moment. Don't know if you've seen any you wish to answer, Niels.
Let me scroll.
KM Productions asks, will you add helicopters for the teams?
Helicopters currently are planned for AI support. For instance, to call for a car chase or fire, but to light up a scene, for example, at nighttime. For players, this is something I'm always holding off to confirm also on Discord, because how the new map will be performant, how the loading system will work for players, and then, of course, if all goes well, we could consider those.
Let's have a look. Maroon the Fox asks, will there be better weapon sounds and will you add criminal teams? I guess civilian role.
Yeah, civilian role is planned with limited features they will be able to do to not like overpower police units in game, in server. Um, uh, Weapon sounds, indeed, those don't need some work, and we'll change those.
Sagro Falcon says it'd be cool if to add food consumption as part of the game. Is that something obviously are we considering or working on?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, so basically, will you need to eat food to regain
Oh.
health and stuff like that?
You will not go hungry just because sitting in your patrol car, but food will heal you. The same way now we have the med packs in stations to heal after callouts. So yeah, that's something like eating donuts just for fun, like in many games you eat, you get health.
Yeah.
I see one question.
Yeah, go for it.
On the chat is there a day-night cycle planned? Yes, indeed. Currently, old map we had in testing phase, so you can switch from day to night and play like forever in night or forever in day. But the main goal is here to actually have a cycle through the day and night, morning, evening, and it just goes on as you are in game.
Yeah.
The same for weather as well, rain and some cloudy or sunny time.
Yeah. Have a question here from Daniel Wilton. Are there plans for better control of AI traffic? So closing roads, directing vehicles, and telling them where to go away from the scenes and such.
Yeah, I was looking at this when working on the traffic when porting to the new map, but it was quite a challenge, so this topic was put aside. Yeah, there are things like since the release, there was idea that you actually could at least make them turn around and drive away. So the traffic advisor was the next step. Sometimes they work, sometimes they are not so as desired. But yeah, that's something we can work on further because AI is better in their core. Of course, they are not perfect, but it was important to clean up the core to move forward with better features for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably have time for one or two final questions. The Gaming Shark asked, "Hi, don't know if this was answered yet. For the fire department, will there be a wildland update where you can fight vegetation fires and get a brush rig, just like in California?"
Yeah, indeed, that's planned, and that's why also old map supports cutting down trees with chainsaw or axe, because that way you will be able to limit upcoming wildfire, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think final question for the day, Ice Dragon, will you ever add a medical bag to the police department vehicles?
There was idea of having like a mini, like a patch bag, yeah. First aid bag, but actually didn't add, not because they don't have it. Of course they have it. Every car has to have the aid bag, but just to balance out the roles and the gameplay, because police have already a fire extinguisher, and if they have a medic bag, then basically they are all three roles, and fire having a med bag already is somewhat medic and fireman, and then there are EMS who don't have guns, who don't have spike strips. They have med bags, they have a fire extinguisher, so we have to balance out so not one specific role have all these things and they can just take a medic call and finish it by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think that'll be everything we can go through today. Thank you everyone who has submitted any questions. I'm sorry if we couldn't get to your questions specifically. We may do another one of these in the future, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's been great to just chat with Niels here about the game and to go over your questions, and hopefully we'll see you all again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for the engagement and flood of questions. We had to actually sort them and see what are duplicates and yeah, you are awesome community, and thank you very much for suggestions and critique and anything that comes our way. We value and consider. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, see you. Bye.